Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the show. This is me, craziness this morning. I was up here on a live yesterday, and I kind of wanted to re-say some of the things that I said because I'm not trying to inhibit anybody's faith, and I felt a little convicted. But also, we're going to be rereading today in Matthew, and we're going to start in chapter 18. If you were with me yesterday on a live, I said some stuff about the Old Testament, and I did get some clarification and some answers on that, but I do still have one issue with it, and that is how women and children are seen and treated, and it doesn't reflect God in the beginning, and it also doesn't reflect Jesus in the New Testament. And so that's why I have a problem with that. And I think that that is something that was done by man. Jesus did not look at a woman or a child and see a price tag on their forehead and their worth as being money. So to me, those things don't make sense. So I digress. Nonetheless, I just wanted to clear that up a little bit. I am glad everybody is here. I would like to remind you guys that even though I put that this is not made for kids and this isn't a kids channel, even though I don't do anything inappropriate up here, I do still have a lot of children that follow me. I have a lot of children that have subscribed to my channel. And I absolutely love that. I love that children are interested in the stories and the word, and it makes me want to cry. It's very cool. But keeping that in mind, I would appreciate derogatory comments to kind of be at a low, just because there are little eyes and ears that, could be on here. And if you had kids, I'm sure you wouldn't want them hearing and seeing some things you guys threw up here at me. So I ask nicely, please. This is a Christian content channel. No, you do not have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. If you have had a bad experience with it, man, I'm here. Holler at me. Leave a comment. Leave a comment after the live is over. I'd love to talk to you. For sure and certain. I think a lot of the people that get on my lives or get on my videos and shorts that do have, negative things to say, I think that to me, you're just kind of reaching out. Hi, Zeke. Good morning. How are you? I'm in the United States. Good morning. Hi. I think I might just wait around for some people to hop on. Yeah, actually, I have gotten all over the world. It's really cool, and it is super nice to meet you. Where are you at, dear? You're going to school? What country are you guys from? Tell me where you guys are from. I'm super excited to hear. I have gotten reach all over the world from, oh, you're from India. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Bless you. That is awesome. United States. I am not superior. Thank you. No, nope. Love you. We are all brothers and sisters, sweetheart. We are not one greater than the other by any means. I love and respect all of you. I'm so glad you're here. That's cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start my reading this morning. If you have been following along, this will be part 5. in the Gospel of Matthew, and right now we're up to chapter 18. And if you haven't been following along, before we got here, Jesus was kind of irritating people to the point of where the disciples asked him, "Hey, do you see what you're doing? Do you not know you're irritating everybody?" And so, have I ever visited India? No, I haven't. I would love to travel. I would love to travel the world if I could. I've always wanted to go. My personal lineage on one half of my family were Jews, and my great 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 grandparents came over. They were migrating Jews from Europe. What part of the United States? I'm an Okie over here. I would love to come. If I get the chance to travel, I will let you know and I'll come say hi because that's cool. I've had some people send me some messages from the Philippines too, and that was neat. It is such a blessing, and it makes my heart swell so big to know that the word is reaching so many people through some random person in Oklahoma, and it's cool, and I'm really glad you guys are here for the journey. It's been fun. So we're gonna jump into 18 here, and I'll be back and forth in the comments whenever I can find a break. I'm not ignoring you guys. Um, thank you. So chapter 18 in Matthew. At the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receives me. I think this is one of the most important parts whenever he says to come like children. And the best way that I can explain this, because I do have kids of my own, is your relationship with him is like a child to a parent. Adults are just large children with more experience. But we don't know everything, right? So God is our creator, and he's like our father. And so we come to him as children, not in blind following, but in seeking, and we ask questions and we read to find the answers. We ask other people who are more knowledgeable. We come to God about everything. So God wants a relationship with you like a parent, like a best friend. He wants you to tell him about all your good times, all your bad times, your struggles, your worries, all of that. He wants all of you. And you might do things wrong to get in trouble, and there might be some kind of punishment. I'm going to put that in quotations because I don't really like that word or using that word. Not punishment, but oh man, I just said this to my kid yesterday and I can't think of the word right now. Repercussions. There are repercussions to your actions, right? So if you hurt somebody, you might get in trouble for that, right? Do I speak Hindi? No, I do not. Hi, what's up? I speak English and a little bit of Spanish. I am trying to learn Hebrew and what was it? I don't remember, but I didn't make it too far in there because I think I was trying to do too much at once. But no, I want to learn how to speak Hindi though. That would be cool. But who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me? It were better for him that a millstone be hanged around his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense comes. Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for you to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet be cast into everlasting fire. So it's better to have a severe amputation or disfigurement or whatever than it is to continue living your life in sin because you have no control of yourself. Hi, I'm gonna pause for a second. Hold on. Hello. Hi, Coop. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Hi. I'm glad to see some of you guys returning. Awesome. And if thine eye offended thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is better for thee to enter into life with one eye, rather than having 2 eyes and be cast into hell fire. Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. What do you think? How think ye? If a man has 100 sheep, and one of them go astray, does he not leave the 99 to go save the one? And if so be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoices more for that one sheep than of the 99 which did not go astray. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of seasonal allergies. So most of the time, we are referenced as the lost sheep. And God and Jesus are more so excited over the lost sheep that they get to save and bring back to the herd. It's really cool. Anyway, sorry, I got caught up in the comments here. What am I reciting? Oh, okay, so I am in the Bible, in the book of Matthew. I am on chapter 18. If you get on my channel, if you scroll down and go back to my channel, I've got parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 up from where we've already started in Matthew to now. Once we get a little bit further in here, we're going to be reading parts of Matthew and Revelation parallel to each other. There's a lot of things that Jesus says in the end of Matthew, and just like in the end of the other Gospels, that have reference to end times, the return of Christ, the kingdom of heaven, and what people call the rapture. However, the word is harpazo, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But anyway, I'm really glad that you are all here. So I'm going to continue. I'm sorry, I keep getting paused in the comments. I'm just having a good time with you guys, to be honest. This is my second time reading this, and I might end up having to do it again if it doesn't upload up to the channel, or I might just record and upload it. But either way. Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear you, then you have gained a brother. But if he doesn't hear you, then take 1 or 2 other people with you, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he neglects to hear them, tell it to the church. If he neglects the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. For verily I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on this earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever you shall loose on this earth shall be loosed in heaven. I say unto you that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm glad you got a second chance too, Coop. I hope everything's going well for you. We have a good God. We have a really good God. And, you know, I think Peter is one of the, I really like parts of, I love all the disciples, but I really like parts of his story because if you remember, so Peter denies Christ 3 times, right? Jesus is crucified, and Peter is so beside himself. He feels so convicted and so bad about what he had done. He doesn't know what to do now. He thinks that his mission is over, and so he just goes back to what he was doing before Jesus got here. He's like, well, I might as well just go back to fishing because that's what I know, right? And Jesus, so check this out, fun fact, Jesus walked 80 miles to find Peter after the 3 days after he rose back up. Walked 80 miles to go find Peter and tell him, and he asked him, do you love me? And feed my sheep, right? And after he tells him to cast the nets back over. And so that shows that it doesn't matter where we think, how we think. God's got a plan. He knows, and you're never too broken for him to use you for something. You still have a purpose. It's not over yet. God's plan isn't done. And Peter's story in that instance really shows that, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I like to share that story with people, especially people who feel like they're failing or feel like they've done so much that God could never forgive them or do anything with them, or whatever the case may be. And so Peter's a good one for sure. I'm going to keep going here. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? 7 times? And Jesus said to him, well, I say unto you, until 7 times 7, but until 70 times 7. That's a lot of times. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him, I'm just going to say dollars, $10,000. So this guy owes this other guy $10,000. So that's a lot of money. Okay. But forasmuch as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife, and his children, and all that he had, to pay off of his debt. So this guy's like, you owe me money, you're not paying me, I'm going to take everything. I'm taking you, your family, you're all going to get sold, I'm going to take all your stuff, and this is going to me, equal up the debt that you owe. And the servant fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay you everything. Like, please, don't sell me and my family. I will get you the money together. I got this. Please, please give me some mercy here. Give me some time. I'll get you paid back. And so the Lord of the servant was moved with compassion. He felt bad for this guy. He's like, okay, And he loosed him and he forgave him the debt. Forgave him the debt. Keep that in mind. But now this same servant who was forgiven his debt, okay, he went out and found one of his fellow servants which owed him $100. Just 100, not 10,000, not 1,000, just 100. And he laid hands on this man. That's what it says. He laid hands on him. Took him by the throat and said, "Pay me what you owe me." And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, "Please, have patience with me, and I will pay you everything." So now the tables have turned. And the man who was forgiven the debt is now in the higher chair, and he has someone under him that owes him way less money. And he beat the heck out of this guy, choked him out, and is like, "Pay me." And he would not. He wouldn't have patience with the man. He wouldn't give him time. He wouldn't give him any grace. But instead, he went and cast him into prison until he could pay the debt. That's a bunch of crap. So, when this man's fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry for the man and came and told unto their Lord what was done. So this same gentleman's Lord. Then his Lord, after he had called him, said unto them, "O wicked servant, I forgave you all your debt, and because you desired me, you moved me. Should not thou also have compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on you? Shouldn't you do the same thing that I did to you to your fellow servant?" And his Lord was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due to him. So this guy who owed him $10,000, well, his debt has come back, and his Lord is putting him in prison, putting him in jail until it is all repaid. So, likewise, shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if you from your hearts do not forgive every one of his brother and their trespasses. We must forgive. The bigger picture. So that was it for chapter 18. We're going to go into chapter 19 now. I am under 40. I'll give you that. I ain't going to give you a number though, but I'm under 40. Do you guys have any other questions while I'm before I hit 19? You were a drug addict for years and hid it. Well, hey, man, congratulations. Congratulations on overcoming your addiction. I don't know what you were addicted to, but I can tell you I have been related to, married to, and been around addicts, friends with addicts, and it is not easy, and I commend you. I commend you for it. Congratulations, man, that's awesome. High five. High five. I don't know how to say your name from India. I wish that I did. You keep retracting messages. What do you want to say, dear? I hope it's not bad. I hope my message didn't make you unlike me, but I hope you're still here, regardless. 2 years sober. Congrats, dude. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's cool. I love good come up stories, to be honest with you. I ran into a really old friend of mine about a month ago almost, and I hadn't seen him in over a year. They just kind of disappeared the last time I seen him. They weren't over $140 and they were on some coke real bad, and I had to take a double take. I didn't even recognize them, man. They don't look like they're chewing on their backbone anymore. They look healthy and happy, and they had such a good story. They're getting to see their family again, and it's all good stuff. I love it. Oh, no, he might not be here for the Bible, and that's perfectly fine. That don't bother me none. Listen, Coop, I got called the hard R word the other day. I was like, whoa. I get a lot of craziness up here, but it's perfectly fine. Honestly, I think a lot of people that have negative things to say really are interested, and I think that that's part of the reason why they're here. And I don't want them to leave. I want them to stay and listen, and I want them to know that this is a safe place and they're not going to get any hate from me. Um, what I have found, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but a lot of people don't have a problem with God. They have a problem with people, and they have a problem with how Christians have tried to share God and Jesus. And I get it, I understand. And so they're all welcome here. I don't want them to leave. I might say something in here that clicks in somebody's head, and that's good enough. You know what I mean? If it keeps them interested, it might keep them coming back. I don't even care if they come back and hate on me every single time. They're still here and present, and they're still hearing this, and it's important. So, no big deal. Anyway, we're going to go on to chapter 19 now. Yes, sir. We're sowing seeds. We are fishers of men, 100%. So, chapter 19. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these things, he departed from Galilee and came into the coasts of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, It is lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause. This one's a good one. And he answered and said unto them, Have you not read that which made them at the beginning, made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall become one flesh. So them together, they create a child, one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. So they said to him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? This is important. So he said unto them, so this is Jesus talking now to the people, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. So he's telling them, from the beginning, it wasn't supposed to be like that. But because of the hardness of your hearts, because of how you guys were then, you were able to divorce your wives for whatever reason. If we go into historical, you have to go into historical context here. And he says, I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commits adultery, and whoso marries her which is put away doth commit adultery. So he's saying you're not supposed to divorce your wife unless she's committed adultery. That's it. And at the time, men were trying to divorce their wives for whatever reasons, and also men were trying to leave their wives to be with men. That's just part of the history and the times right there. And his disciples said unto him, If the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. So the disciples are telling him, look, if that's what you're trying to do and you're getting married, but you're just wanting to get divorced for whatever reason, then just don't get married. Just don't do it. Yeah, what if the wife cheated? Yeah, that's it. So according to, we're in Matthew 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. So that's it. you're committing adultery. So, yeah, you can't cheat. All right. So now let's go down to 11 here. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were born from their mother's womb. This is an opinion. This is not factual. So don't take what I'm about to say as that this is what it is. This is just my own personal opinion, okay? Eunuchs born from their mother's womb. A eunuch, okay. In this context, how it sounds to me, that does not make it so, is this is the definition of real transgender. So these people could have been born with both parts of both parts, a little bit of some, none of the other, but they could not reproduce. That's just my take, may not be right. Okay, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. So there were some men that were turned into eunuchs. And there were eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. So they cast off that part of their body. It sounds weird to me too. Okay. For heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Then were there brought unto him little children, that he should put his hands on them and pray, but the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, suffer little children, and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. So it's there, Jesus is saying all these things, and there's all these people around, adults, and I'm assuming that the disciples were thinking, this is an adult event and not a child event, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, get your kids out of here, which is weird. But anyway, Jesus stops them and he's like, no, suffer the little children. Let them come in. Don't tell them they can't come in. Don't forbid them. For such is the kingdom of heaven. Jesus talks about how important children are so many times. He talks about how they are to be treated, even disciplined, how they're to be protected, and what happens or what should happen to people who hurt kids. Very important. He says that a lot. Anyway, and he laid his hands on them and they departed. So he put his hands on them and prayed, and then they left. And he lay, and behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? What do I have to do to go to heaven, Jesus? I don't understand. And he said to him, why do you call me good? Excuse me. There is none good but one, and that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. So if you want to enter into and so you have to remember, this is before Jesus dies. Okay, so they're living under the Levitican laws. And he says, keep my commandments. And so the guy asks him, he says, well, which ones? And Jesus goes, thou shalt do no murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't bear false witness, honor your father and mother, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the young man said to him, all these things I've kept from my youth up. I've been doing this since I was a kid. What do I lack? What is it that I'm not doing? And so Jesus said, if you will be perfect, go and sell. So if you're perfect, if you have kept all these things and you've done these things, go and sell everything that you have. Go get rid of everything you have. Go sell it. Go give it to the poor. And you will have treasure in heaven. Come and follow me. So drop everything. Leave your friends. Leave your family. Leave your belongings. Everything. Drop it and follow me. And yours is the kingdom of heaven. But when the young man heard this saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. So this must have been a real rich guy. Must have had some money, he had some stuff at the house, and he was not interested in giving it away or selling it. He liked that material stuff. And so then Jesus said to his disciples, "Verily I say unto you that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God." And when his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, "Who then can be saved?" But Jesus beheld them and said to them, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Then Peter answered and said, "Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?" So, okay, Jesus, me and the rest of your disciples here, your followers, have done everything you've asked. We've left our family, our friends, we left everything we had behind. We literally dropped our nets at the boat and followed you. What happens to us? And so Jesus says to them, "Verily I say unto you, that you which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel." So each of the disciples have a throne in heaven, and each one of the 12 is a judge for the 12 different tribes of Israel. "And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, mother, or wife, children, or lands for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first." So that's chapter 19. It's very understandable. When you have all the money you'll ever need and you want for naught, it kind of takes away having a relationship with God until maybe you feel a little empty inside. You can't buy that void out, you know. But I'm going to pause for a couple seconds here before I go into chapter 20 in case anybody has any questions or wants to say anything. I'm all ears for a few minutes. If I have any newcomers in here on the channel, please say hi and tell me where you're from. I've had United States and India and I don't know. I have to go back up here. I had someone that kept taking stuff down. So, anyway. Okay, chapter 20. "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in his vineyard." I really like this story. This is a good one. So there's a guy, he owns a vineyard, and he needs some help. And so he goes out early in the morning to go find people looking for work so he can bring them back to the vineyard and they can work. And he finds some. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them to the vineyard. So he talks to these workers and he's like, "All right, you come out and work for me. I'll give you guys a penny for today's work." And he sent them to the vineyard. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, "Go out to my vineyard, go work out in my vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you." And they went their way. He went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did the same thing. And he went out the 11th hour and found others lying idle, and said unto them, "What do you stand here all day idle for? What are you standing around for?" And they said, "Because no man has hired us." And he said to them, "Well, you go out to my vineyard, and what's right you'll receive. You can get a penny today." So when evening came, the Lord, the guy, the owner of the vineyard, said to his steward, "Go call the laborers and give them their hire beginning from last unto first." So, day's done. Go grab my workers, get them lined up, and cut them a check. Pay the people that were here last first and go down the line. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. So the last people that came in at the 11th hour, they got paid a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. They said, "These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day." So what they're saying is, these last people worked an hour, and they're getting paid a penny. We have been here all day. We got here at the very beginning of the day. We've done most of the work. We've had the sun on our backs all day. We've been working hard, and we're getting paid a penny. And these people have only been here in an hour, and they're getting paid a penny. This doesn't seem right. So they get upset about it. But he answered, the Lord answered one of them and said, "Friend, I'm not doing you any wrong. Did you not agree with me for a penny? Isn't that what we agreed on? You said you'd come work for a penny. I'm giving you a penny. Take that thine is, and go your way, and I will give unto the last even as I gave unto you." So he says, take your pay, go your way. This is what we agreed on, and I'm going to pay the other people what I said I was going to pay them. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? Can I not do what I want with my own stuff, my own money? Is your eye evil because I'm good? Are you mad at me because I am good I'm paying everybody here? So the last shall be first, and the first last. So many be called, but few chosen. And Jesus, going up to Jerusalem, took the 12 disciples apart in the way, and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto the chief priests and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock and to scourge, and to crucify him, and the third day he shall rise again. So Jesus is going up to Jerusalem, and he's got his 12 disciples, and he is telling them what is going to happen. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. She wanted to ask him for something. I'm going to get a favor from you, Jesus. And he said to her, What wilt thou? What do you want? What is it you need? And she said to him, Grant that these my 2 sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on thy left, in the kingdom of heaven. Can you make sure that my kids go to heaven, and that this one sits on your right hand and this one sits on your left? Hey. And Jesus answered and said, You know not what you ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? And they said unto him, We are able. And so he replies, You shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. I can't put one of your kids on my left or right. That's not my place. That's God's place, and that's on him. Oh, you're from Kansas. Hey, you're just north of me. Hope your weather is getting better, because it is getting warmer down here. Okay. And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the 2 brethren. But Jesus called them unto him and said, You know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. And as they departed from Jericho, a great multitude followed him. And behold, two blind men sitting by the wayside, when they heard that Jesus passed by, cried out, saying, Have mercy on us, O Lord, thou Son of David. Here again, we have another couple blind men. Jesus is being followed around by so many sick people. And it's very ironic that these normal, regular, well, I'm going to say normal, regular, blind, whatever people, but they're not the higher ups. No, that he's a son of David. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees, who have all these signs in front of them, in fact, they had signs given to them 250 years before Jesus was even born, refused to see it. It's crazy. And the multitude rebuked the blind men, because they should hold their peace, but they were being loud. But they cried more, saying, Have mercy on us, O Lord, thou Son of David. They're trying to get his attention. And Jesus stood still and called them and said, What will ye that I shall do unto you? What is it that you want me to do for you? And they said to him, Lord, that our eyes may be opened. So Jesus had compassion on them and touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes were received sight, and they followed him. So that's chapter 20. Thanks for still being here, Coop. Hey, that's cool. Staying productive. I think we got some more parables in 21. 22. 23 on. I think 23 is where I'm going to have to stop. Okay, so I guess we'll go to 20. We'll do 21 real quick. So Matthew chapter 21. Oh golly, hold on. This one's a long one. We got like 2 pages to go through here, so bear with me. And when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come to Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Jesus 2 disciples, saying unto them, Go into the village over against you, and straightway you will find an ass tied to a colt with her. Loose them and bring them to me. And if any man say aught unto you, you shall say, The Lord hath need of them, and straightway he will send them. So if anyone says, hey, you can't have these, just tell them that the Lord told you that he needed them, and they'll give them to you. And this was done, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, Tell ye the daughter of Sion, Behold, thy king cometh unto thee meek, and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the foal of an ass. So this is another prophecy that he's fulfilling. And the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them, and brought the ass, the donkey, and the colt, and put them and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees and strawed them in the way. So as Jesus is coming down this road on the donkey, people are taking leaves and branches and garments and and all kinds of stuff, and they're putting it over the road for him and the donkey to go over. And the multitudes that went before and that followed cried, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. And when he was come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, Who is this? And the multitude said, This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. So he's already met all these multitudes of people. He's been healing people. He's been performing miracles. He gets into the city of Jerusalem, and they're moved, and they're like, "Who is this man?" And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all of them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. So this is going to be in a different kind of context in other gospels, but Jesus is mad. He's whipping people. He is flipping tables, and he is literally whipping people because he is so outraged. And he says to them, "It is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." You're making a profit. What is going on here? And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. And when the chief priests and the scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple and saying, "Hosanna to the Son of David," they were sore displeased. And they said to him, "Hearest thou what these say? Do you hear what these people are saying about you?" And Jesus said, "Yes. Have you never read, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise?" Have you not read your own scriptures, man? And he left them and went out of the city into Bethany, and he lodged there. Now, in the morning, as he returned into the city, he was hungry. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing on it but leaves. And he said unto it, "Let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever." And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How soon is the fig tree withered away?" And he answered them, saying, "Verily I say unto you, if you have faith and doubt not, you shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if you shall say unto this mountain, be removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it'll be done. And all things whatsoever you shall ask in prayer, believing, you shall receive." And when he was come into the temple, the chief of priests and the elders of the people came unto him, and he was teaching, and said, "By what authority do you do these things, and who gave you this authority?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "I also will ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I in likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things." Here's the question. The baptism of John, whence was it? Was it from heaven? Was it by heaven or by men? And this paused them. They had to reason with themselves. And so they replied, "If we say from heaven, then he will say, where did you not believe him?" So if we say it's from heaven, then we have to agree with him. But if we say it's of men, then we fear the people, for they all think John was a prophet, John the Baptist. So they don't want to agree with Jesus, but the people believe John was a prophet. And so if we say that it was by man, then we're denying that John was a prophet. And oh no, we're between a rock and a hard place right now. And so they answered Jesus in the only way that they could. And they said, "We don't know." No idea. We don't know. And he said to them, "Well, then, I guess neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. If you can't answer this simple question, then I cannot answer yours. This is crazy." But what do you think? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, "Son, go work today in my vineyard." And he answered and said, "I will not." But afterwards he repented and went. And this kid was being a little butthead. He's like, "I don't want to go work today. I'm not doing it." And then he becomes convicted, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Dad. Sorry, I was being a butthole. I'm going to go work in the vineyard today. My bad. I love you." And he came to the second, and he said likewise, and he answered and said, "I'll go." But he didn't go. So he told his dad, he's like, "Yeah, I'll go work out there. No problem. Gotcha." and then never goes, never shows up. Whether of them twain did the will of his father. So, which between the two did the will of my father? And they said to him, the first. And Jesus said to them, verily I say unto you that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came unto you in the way of the righteousness, and you believed him not. You didn't believe him. But the publicans and the harlots believed him. And you, when you had seen it, repented not afterwards that you might believe him. You saw it. You saw the proof, and you still denied it. Hear another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about and digged a vine press on it and built a tower and let out the husbandmen and went into the far country. All these things. And when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen that they might receive the fruits of it. And the husbandman took his servants and beat one and killed the other and stoned the other. Again, he sent other servants more than the first, and they did unto them likewise. But last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying, they will reverence you, my son. They're not going to hurt you. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance. We're going to kill him and take all his stuff. And they caught him, and cast him out of the vineyard, and slew him. When the Lord thereafter of the vineyard comes, what will he do unto the husbandman? And so they replied, he will miserably destroy those wicked men, and will let out his vineyard unto the other husbandmen, which shall render them fruits in their seasons. And Jesus said to them, did you never read the scriptures? The stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of heaven shall be taken from you, and given to the nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. And when the chief of priests and the Pharisees had heard these parables, they received that he spoke to them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude, because they took him for a prophet. So they're upset. They're upset because Jesus is calling them out, and they can't lie their way through it. They can't beat around the bush around it, and they don't want to answer it. And the best they can come up with is, oh no, lame. And so because of this, and this is also, so this is the unforgivable sin right here. What he's talking about with the Pharisees, whenever you want to know what the unforgivable sin is, this is it right here. It's whenever you know that this is God, you see it undeniably, and yet you still refuse it. And in their case, they weren't just refusing it, but they were saying that it was demonic. That's it right there. So they were so mad that they wanted to beat the heck out of Jesus, and they couldn't do it because the crowd sees Jesus as a prophet. He's the son of David, and this is their Messiah. So that's it. That's chapter 21. That was a long old chapter, but it was a good one. I will pick up next time. We'll do chapters. We'll start at chapter 22. So thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you for joining the reading and all the comments. Thanks for hanging around, Coop, and listening to the reading today. Oh, dang, I've been up here for an hour. That went by fast. So everybody stay blessed, stay warm and safe. Forgive people. Tell people that you love them. Life is fleeting. And I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, no problem, man. I get kind of excited sometimes, but I try to read slow and I try to kind of go back and explain some of the things that it's saying because it is the King James Version. And so, thee, thou, art, ye, therefore, or not therefore, but, you know. So, see you next time, bud. Bye, guys.